Good morning. If you haven't noticed, it's Friday. Kidding. All right. So we're expecting a correction, getting a correction. So far, it's orderly, not a big deal. Looking at the futures here, we should be. I think I put up the charts. Yep. I don't see it changing over there. So, okay. All right. Whatever's going on. Okay. So minor support. We'll see if the market is really strong, that's where it's going to hold. Right now, minor support. I hope you guys enjoy doing these little lessons pre-market like this because I don't have to explain in detail, what we do in the seminar, but I figure everybody's here to learn, right? So minor support is a subjective reference point. It's like, why is it a subjective reference point, Greg? Well, it's beyond what's directly to the left that we would utilize but it's also a self-fulfilling prophecy. Anybody that's learned technical analysis 101, what was resistance becomes support. Da, 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 da. Why doesn't it hold there when it gets down there all the time? Well, because sometimes it looks like this, and intraday traders and others that are looking what's directly to the left, and I say intraday traders because you know what's happening directly to the left. So one of the concepts, which we don't mention in MT Live because there's many more concepts than what's in MT Live that's covered in the course, right? Because we get into really big details as to understanding price action. But one of the rules is that once prices have traded below and above a reference point, it's been used up as a reference point. Okay, what does that mean, Greg? Well, it came down here. This was directly to the left, what we call major support at that time. And buyers stepped up there. And, it doesn't always rip like that off a major support, but this was the election. Right? So now it trades above that. So now the majority that are opening up their charts and looking at their daily chart, maybe they're not looking at the futures, but whatever, looking at SPY, SPX. Oh, what was resistance becomes support. It's going to turn there. Maybe it does. Well, there's a little support here too, right? That little shelf, but that's beyond. Now, what's directly to the left is this pivot. So it's an area. So while things often come down exactly to the pivot low, so why do we look at pivots? Why do we define pivots as we do? Because it works, right? It's not magic. It's not the holy grail or anything. And we've looked at pivots with 2 bars and 3 bars and 4 bars and different structures of pivots and how they formed and all that stuff. This is simple and it works. Okay. 3 higher low bars to the left and right, a little support area there. And so as we look at that minus support, and I'll just do this to kind of make it easy to kind of, if we do something like this, if I can get this thing to draw, this thing, something like that, and I'll just throw it down to the 20, and then I'll just put it everywhere, apply it to everywhere. And somewhere here, this is trending down. It comes down here today. Somewhere in that area, buyers should show up. And that's just historically, when you look at chart patterns over many, many, many years, this is where it's going to make the turn. And I say that as if it's a fact. Well, if it doesn't make the turn and it keeps going down, something's wrong, right? So this whole idea now, interest rates moving up as they are, tax breaks, Trump's idea, no tax on tips, and blah blah blah, and inflation, and we got some stronger inflation numbers this morning. Meanwhile, the market is just doing its normal thing here by getting extended and pulling back to an area of support where buyers should show up, and we'll see if it can make the turn here. And just by looking at this and thinking about, okay, this is today's bar, this is the support. If we get a little dive down here, maybe we'll be looking to make an intraday buy if it was to dip down into this area. We get a little bit of a ugliness, intraday, and we get a tick extreme, and maybe we get a day trade, and maybe it turns into a green bar. I don't know. Maybe it just goes down there today, and Monday will make a turn. So, in other words, I'm looking for the S&P to make a turn somewhere in here. I don't know how it's going to do it, but that's the plan for now. We'll see how it unfolds. All right. NASDAQ futures. I got my little green thing. They are ready for us. 20 MA, minor support, coming down a little bit lower. If you are a Fibonacci aficionado, I try to say that word, you probably got some fib numbers there. If you're looking at some VWAP or some volume histogram or some blah, 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 it's going to line up somewhere in here, okay? So looking for the turn to occur. And if it doesn't, and it keeps going down here, common sense says something is wrong. And I will say, like, Greg, why didn't you know it was going to go down there and it wasn't going to stop there? Because who the hell knows? You don't know. You look at what's normal that occurs over a period of history, and strength, uptrend, that would be the place for it to make a turn. And we'll see if it does. That's the bottom line. All right. So now we look at where the spiders are. All right. And crosshairs into this gap area. All right. So we marked this off yesterday, and it held that area, give or take. Come on, let go. Come on. Can't I grab this stupid thing? Anyway, I'll just drag this up here and put this in the unfilled gap area. How's that? So it's below that. So where are we? All right, I have this here. That's where the support is. There isn't much there, by the way. And so minor support is down here. We're not near it. This is what's directly to the left. But we're below the gap. No, we're coming. No, we're not. Yeah, we're right into that gap area. So we'll see if this can make a turn down in here. I'm expecting it to move a little bit lower. So where are we at? Looking at my cursor on my daily chart, it's coming down on top of this bar. It's close to minor support. It's on the bar there. Maybe it's going to go a little lower. All right, that's the unknown, but that bottoming tail bar is the focal point, right? That's right there, and it's on top of this area. But this has been used once. That was where it gapped up, and bottoming tail bar came down into there, and it flipped up. So it really shouldn't come down here, especially for today. That would be a humongous move, all right? So creating my expectations for, even if it gets a little ugly, what would be the worst case scenario? Probably the 20 MA, which that's pretty far. That's kind of far away. Right? It's gapping down, and maybe they come in to fill the gap. We'll see what happens. All right, SPX. Again, nothing was touched. Those were yesterday's numbers. And let's see what we got here. Let's see where they're betting for a lottery ticket. That's deep in the money. So it's never going to get back up to 6,000 today. So that's a huge open interest. Somebody's going to make a lot of cash there for that. Others down below, just looking for something like that around 10,000. Open interest, 58.60. 58.60. That's on top of the 20 MA. So I don't think it's getting down there today, but what I'm looking for is the convergence of different reference points. So I've got a 20 MA at that 58.60. I've got this congestion area there. There's this congestion. So if things got ugly, that would probably be the worst of whatever it could be today. So where do we have a dollar? 58.60. Look at that. The 860. That should be a no-brainer. And 965. So everything comes down from the prior day as markets move lower. The 965. This downside should be a no-brainer. If the market continues lower at the open, if it goes fast, you can probably get below that, but should be fine. You got minor support, you got a 20 MA, and so on. All right, let's look at other things. Yesterday I mentioned gold. It had a crazy kind of day when Powell started to speak. But look at the bottoming tail bar from yesterday. This is why you got to look to the left. Right? You don't need all of this esoteric kind of garbage to put on your chart. And while sometimes, yeah, it hits the 200, or your VWAP, or your Fibonacci, and whatever. The one thing that is consistent, time and time again, is just look to the left. And sometimes you don't have such clear reference points like this. It's a little messy, right? So pivots are pretty clear as day, so to speak. But you got this congestion area there. Prices come down as far as they do, they begin to accelerate. There are going to be buyers there. So then you just have to pick your point, meaning, and your money management, which is so key, which, by the way, with the specials that Dan and I have, you do at the end of the year, if you don't take advantage of the money management course, you just don't like yourself. What can I say? Because it's the most important thing, and everybody that takes it is like, it just opens up their world. And the psychology part of it is incredible. Once you understand position and money management, all of the demons, start to go away. All right, so gold is beginning to make a turn. It's going to be volatile. Turns are always volatile. The dollar is all in the news. It's started to go vertical. It's gapping down here today a little bit, so that's starting to make a turn, and it'll take a little time. The euro is extended, of course. It's down on some support here, so things are aligned here for at least getting some kind of a bounce. That doesn't mean longer term something of significance won't continue, because it seems that way. With the move that's occurred in the dollar, it's just been tremendous. But things are reaching a point here that they should make a short term turn. That's all. All right, Bitcoin, as you know, has had this monster move, and it's broken out. It's consolidating while it's extended. It's certainly not the place to enter. I see some distribution going on here, but that suggests it's going to go higher. Interest rates just higher a little bit this morning, but holding this area. They're not going down. And here's the monthly chart. They got room to go up. In the weekly chart, a little more detail there. So really interested to see how this unfolds, as the markets have ignored this. And as we go into next year, every year is interesting from different perspectives, but I think this one's going to be much more interesting, especially with the new administration, as to what this all happens. Oil is down, but still hanging on the support area, waiting to see if it can make some kind of a turnaround here, or whether it breaks down through the support. If it does, and that it starts to move down here, that is going to be a big deal. Going to be a big deal. So the idea of taxation and inflation and interest rates being up and maybe us backpedaling toward what we've been through this year, and now they're talking, the Fed is like, well, what did he say yesterday? No real rush to lower interest rates again. And the market had a tizzy about that. But if oil starts to break down, that's like a little bit of a tax relief kind of thing, but inflation relief thing. So, there's all these moving parts that interact with each other. The direction of oil here is going to be a key factor if it starts to break down. What we don't want to see is, interest rates are going up and then oil starts to spike up, and then the transports, which look fantastic, start to crater. That would have some bearish implications. So right now, things are just correcting a bit, and going into the end of the year, Turkey Day is, before and after is a bullish time. And so as things are coming down here a bit, I think until proven otherwise, they're going to line up as to a nice opportunity for some swing longs and absolutely some put spreads. So, yeah, I'm excited. And so those of you listening on social media, you're going to get an email later today. We're going to, first time, and Dan and I have been working together for 25 years, right? And by the way, thank you, Rocco. But thank you, Alex. Today is my birthday, by the way. As I'm getting older here, starting to you start to think about your mortality. I got a lot of years left in me, but you start thinking about that kind of stuff. But anyway, um, yeah, where was I going with that? Oh, first time ever. Like I said, Dan and I have been working together for over 25 years from the old company in here. But first time ever, we're going to open up the green room to anybody that wants to attend, and without the nominal fee to spend time with us for the week. So look forward to that email, and everybody will spend some time together, looking at the markets and trading and so on. Thank you, everybody. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Happy birthday. I will spare you and not tell them your age, but you're still firing on all cylinders. That's great. All right. Yeah, Steven, I just saw this little mullen going by the ticker. And yeah, I like it as a bottoming pattern. Little 1, 2, 3. So I'll watch it. YouTuber, Golf Foxtrot Sierra buy setup. Yeah, it's deep with a topping tail, but I'll set an alarm at 42.80. Ideally, roll, it will give us an inside bar that closes near yesterday's high. But alarm here, 42.80. And if it can hold with the market down, then that's even more bullish, right? So I'm looking at my Dow 30 like I always do, just to see the quick view of relative strength weakness. 28 stocks are red. Only 2 green ones. Nike up $1, no interest. Looks like a short. Procter and Gamble up 4 cents, which is like nothing. But actually, that's a put spread idea. I'll keep an eye on over the weekend. Let's see. I got a miscellaneous list here. There's not many earnings, but I'll just start with this. DXCM. I would love a 1, 2, 3 for Monday. Estee Lauder potential bottoming pattern. I would much rather prefer a gap reversal, a bottoming tail, something to say that it went down and snapped right back. Now, Lamar, this is on Sammy's short watch list, Pizza Hut. Now, this is a buy setup also roll. This one's actually even better. Came down a little more fluid, bottoming tail on minor support. So had this not been gapping up so much, this would have been a good one. And that came down hard. So I would have said target 450, not a new high. But it's already gapping over my target. And there was some hedge fund was, same old. It always cracks me up how much these things go up when the news comes out of accumulation by some big fund or Buffett or whatever. Like, he's been accumulating over the last 3 months. Zero has changed. Zero change in the fundamental value overnight. But that's just the human nature of people chasing. On a side note, Bitcoin here, a tad under 90,000. I saw the ARC lady, Kathy Wood, and she was there again saying Bitcoin target 1 million to 1,500,000. All right. When I hear things like that, I have one question for them. Are you maxing out every possible loan you can get your hands on and plowing it in to that bullish projection? Because it's, what do you call them, Greg? These people that just talk at extremes for sensational. And then if it does happen to happen, though, CNBC will come back and say, well, they're godlike. All right, so there's a couple stocks here I wrote down that got clobbered yesterday on I think it's more Trump's talking, some Powell, but I think these are sector related. So whatever Trump was saying about spending this and that. So I don't know this one. I don't know if that was in the list or not. Yeah, it was. Yeah, military got whacked here. BNTX is healthcare, but LDOS, these are consultant contractors. And I missed it. Look, this selling started from the moment the market opened. Look at that nasty selling all day. Alex, I don't know how you missed this. Look at this. Khaki, these are the same sector. Bah, look at this. Just killed. So I'm going to keep them on my watch list for a bounce and a put spread when they turn. Someone's asking me about pizza put spread. I wouldn't touch it at a minimum unless it took out yesterday's high, but possible. It's a bearish weekly monthly. I think I would rather the DPZ on a pullback. Netflix, I posted as a call spread yesterday's low. It's a Climo. Starbucks, it's gapping down here. We have long calls that expire today. But it's actually a 1, 2, 3 also. So over today's high is a put spread idea. Pelletier says they're going to leave the S&P and join the NASDAQ. So that's giving it a bump in demand. Boeing, nasty downtrend, firing some people. Nothing to do with it. That's just a continuation of dog. But I remember saying a month or so, I remember when I was in Costa Rica a couple months ago, there was some news came out and it did a swan dive, and I pulled up my monthly. Alex, I think you were in agreement. I said target 1.25 based on the breakdown. And it's, only $13 more to go. Alcoa, I don't know what is going on with this today. I don't think it's earnings, but that's a beautiful That is a beautiful gap. I'm going to put that in a window. All right, military got whacked yesterday also. Well, those other ones were military contractors, the Ka and the Ba, not Ka, Ba, Khaki, LDS. So look at these military stocks too. And I guess fundamentally there could be two reasons, common sense reasons. If Trump, if the world's going to be, well, I don't know. But the two that came to my mind is, he's going to try to quit some of these wars or stop them. And so that might create less demand. And secondly, Trump and Musk and Vivek are going to be in slash and cost mode. And we all know there's a lot of fluff there. Zeta, I was watching yesterday and it couldn't bounce. But look, I like this bounce better today. Why do I have Meta there? I think I meant to type Zeta. That was a typo. All right, there. Yeah. So Meta, Zeta. See, I just did it again. Zeta. Either controlled pullback or over this pre-market high. Let's look to sell the 17.5 zero DTE. There we talked about SEG. We are short already. We're in trail mode. Starbucks we talked about. Gold, Greg talked about. I mean, for me though, there is no turn yet whatsoever. Because I particularly, I don't like Wednesday's range expansion bar. Like GFS, that's what you just talked about. Procter and Gamble, all right. My DXCM alarm went off. Yeah, like I said, ideally a 1, 2, 3. All right, those were a couple watch list items. Here's a couple earnings, and then we're almost at the bell. Oklo, these are earnings, so gapping down from a big topping pattern. So a definite call spread idea. When I say candidate or idea, you got to go through the checklist, of course. Let's see what the premiums are, the spreads, etc. But that's a beautiful pattern with the gap down to sell a call spread at the 26s over Wednesday's high. ASTS gapping down 23 and change, no interest. Possibly a condor over a 30-minute high if it stabilizes. AMAT, I got in the bottom right here. That's a big ugly gap. Look at that gapping under this multi-month support. I don't know. I have no idea what to do with this. But if buyers step up with a wide range bar, then maybe, I don't know, maybe 15-minute high, maybe 30-minute high. I'll consider a zero DTE put spread. SPX 1719, reward to risk is not good. SRTS, there you go. There you go. That's maybe 30-minute high. SRTS. DESP also. The gap's too big though. Shoot. If this were, I always like telling you, just to put another picture in your brain, that if this were gapping up to 1550 instead of 17, then I would be all over it for a 5-minute high. But gap's too big for me now. All right, I got a couple more here. Let me check these out. All right, glob call spread, SYTA gap. That's once again, if this were gapping up to a buck third, low 130s, then that would be on my list for a long 10-15-minute high. Bucket flopping around doing nothing. Post. I was hoping for a bear 1, 2, 3. I see a pre-market here, but it's not showing up on the daily yet. That's weird. But that looks lower. ESC, again, it's showing it up $10, but there's no prints here. Market's open. That's weird. All right, Baba. There's no turn. The sector, wow, and that gave up that huge bullish gap pre-market. That's not good. All right, WISA, long list. Let me set an alarm at 2:05. Look at Zeta pulling in now. See the middle chart. So that's coming in too violently. So when I said maybe 15-minute high or controlled pullback, that ain't controlled. So there's nothing to do. Oh, shoot, Alex, Intel low alarm. I got those $24 puts myself. Short, that is. All right, alarms going off. Netflix. All right, Netflix is a go if you can get filled. I seriously doubt we're going to get the premium. But yeah, Netflix is a go. Call spread. I was wondering, they're showing this boxing Tyson match tonight. There's no way to answer it, but I wonder how much of this bullishness was because of that big promotion that they've been doing. All right, dunking alarm, nice. We have a call spread on this. Hey, our Starbucks is ripping to the upside. Nice. Yeah, my stop's under 24 too, but I always have early alarms and not liking what I see right now. But that's because the sector's down too. All right, we shorted this for Duncan. We shorted it for 28 yesterday. I'm gonna try to cover some here at 11. A penny under, hoping I'd get the benefit of the spread and or a further move lower. I'll tell you if my bell goes off. All right, AMAT here, I see it had a small little 180 reversal. Marriott low alarm, another call spread we put on yesterday. All right, Marriott, well, I don't like the 15-minute end of day decline. All right, I got out of some at 11 on dunking. Mullen is coming in hard, so I'll just set an alarm on Mullen and not worry about it. All right, dunking. Let's move stop over this pre-market high, 4102. So this will lock in again if we get stopped. XPO. CCJ alarm. All right, we got caught in that breakout failure. We had an open gain on the gap breakout. Yeah, my alarm went off. I think we have calls for next week. Let me see where our stop is. 51.28. So I'm just going to leave it and go in hope mode. But I had an early alarm, obviously. Yeah, Netflix, Ulta. Wow, look at Ulta. What happened there? And that was not news. I mean, I'm sorry, it was not earnings. I actually had an alarm up here as buy setup. Zedek is set an alarm at 20. So this Ulta might be a zero DTE, or that's I like big old gaps that get immediately faded. Ulta in the window. Mullen, set an alarm at 360 on Mullen. Yeah, Pfizer also sold off with some of those healthcare things yesterday. Um, yeah, look at bios. We had a third lot of this that got stopped out yesterday. So, I don't know the fundamental reason, but that's being affected by Trump too. Oil looking good here. Hey, oil, we have a half lot of this of XLE. So if somebody wants to help me look for put spreads, 0 and 7 days, that would be appreciated.
I want it to be crushed, Alex. That's not a technical opinion. That's a emotional one.
Look at the AMAP bottom right. Let me check juice bar. Pre-market low around 167. I mean, 167s have juice here, Greg. 83 by 105.
For today,
Yeah.
83?
85 by 1.25 right now. The 167.50s. The day's low. So the
Oh,
question is,
oh, oh, oh.
press the day's low.
I like it. Semis are on support here. They're starting to hold. They're right on that pivot low. They could go a little lower, but it's holding.
All right. All right. See, as it's rising here, the credit's getting less. So they ain't gonna get the 75 unless it pulls back. All right, Ulta, what is up with you today? Three sixties, 360s, 40 by 60. and that's naked. So I like the AMAT better. Our Starbucks holding well now. Let's move stop days low on these calls. 98
I don't think you want to put it at the day's low, Dan.
for what?
Starbucks.
Well, here, read what I read this. So it's a little different, but
You
just
have calls.
well, but just read the whole thing, please. And I mean, you could be right, but then we're going to stop out at full loss because we got the 99s.
I was thinking it as a directional. Okay.
It is. Read it. Read it. It is. Read it. I said we'll take a sign.
11:11. So that's when you did it. They're going to expire today. $99 calls expiring today.
I know. Read what I said, please.
Ooh, stop. Yes, that will sell. The money calls into close. It being assigned stock.
So I'm saying we will take assignment if it's above 99. But if it closes below 99, we're at full loss. So that's fine. I'll
That's
leave.
complicated. I would be inclined to close it then if you've been sitting with this thing and I mean it looks good. I like the way it gapped down and reversed, but
Right. So I'll tell you where we're at right now. If we were to sell the 99 calls, uh, they're 90 cents. So, so our loss is 245 less 90. So the
oh, I
question,
don't like losing money.
I know, but what if it continues up and we make more money? But that's why we're talking. I'm open.
I would be surprised to see it move up a lot more than what it is. Where would it have to go to get break even? I don't, and we shouldn't be thinking about break even situations. I think this market's going lower.
Well, break even ain't going to happen for a while. That's why I said we would sell calls against it into the close you know, to lower our basis. But yeah, I'm okay with
Why
selling.
would, all right, this is my I'm asking like, I'll call it an amateur question. Why would you buy more calls instead of rolling them?
I'm not buying more calls, Greg. I'm selling calls to leg into a covered call.
All right, I'm missing something here because it said the original thing says Starbucks bought November 11/15/99 calls. I don't read where it says you bought the stock.
I'm not, Greg. It says we would be assigned stock into the at 4 p.m. over the weekend. We will be long, X number of shares, 100
All
shares.
right, so I'm fine. I'm fine with owning Starbucks.
I know, but it has to close above 99 to own it.
Otherwise, you lose the 245.
Correct. Whereas now we could sell it for $1 and we only lose 145. So that is the question before us right now.
That's a very difficult thing to answer.
Well, that's why we're having it.
Biotechs are getting killed here.
So, the decision, which 90% of the time, yeah, Alex, no, we're already in it out. Well, my alarm went off, Alex. So yeah, I just got to post it when Greg and I are done deciding on this. So we could sell it for 110 right now. So our loss is 135 a share. It's either that or hold bullish and get assigned stock and leg into a covered call before the end of the day. That's our decision. You're the final arbiter. Tell me, I got it loaded up.
I'm the final arbiter.
Yeah, sell or hold. This is what I will post if you give me the okay.
Ah, it's my birthday and you put me into this bullshit decision.
Oh, God.
You should be happy that you're a decision maker on your birthday.
Well, if the office manager lets me make a decision, then the day would be successful. I'm gonna say hold.
Okay? All right. You got it.
I like the stock. I don't know as far as the options goes and what's gonna happen there, but I think the market, the market right now is it gapped down, so it's got a void above, it's got a void below. I think eventually it's got to get down to support. I don't know how much that is going to affect Starbucks, but Starbucks is at resistance here. But your first 15-minute bar is bullish. So I'm assuming buyers will continue to step up on dips. And so let's just call it intelligent hope mode.
Okay, exactly. That's right. And that was my pre-market plan. So all I was doing when what started this discussion was I was going to move the stop to the day's low. That's what started this discussion. So that way we wouldn't be at full loss if it happened. So I actually was able to close. I was short the $100 puts myself, and it went way the hell against me, and I held it through all this. I actually just got out at a profit. So not full profit, but I made a profit. So I'm happy with that. All right, so yeah, Alex, our Berkshire triggered. Let me put it in the opens. And this was, I think it was in last weekend's letter. And I've left it there all week because it's been fine. $470.52. Hey, Greg, do you know the average number of birthdays that men have in a lifetime? Think before answering. It's a sarcastic answer, but it's, true, really.
I don't know.
One.
Birthdays. Yeah, only born once.
You only have one birth date.
Mm-hmm.
Every other one is you're celebrating it.
Delta 20 wants to know about HES as along.
Yes, all right. Yeah, I wanted some oil ideas.
That looks good.
Let me look at this first. Yeah, that's a clean trigger. Sure.
It's interesting that these stocks are going up and oil looks like it's going to crater.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks similar to our Chevron yesterday, which the gap messed me up, but I like this one a tad better.
And what the hell happened with Exxon? Chevron did amazing for a couple of days, and Chevron was a dud. It maybe it can get above yesterday's high. I would keep an alert on Chevron.
Wait. I'm confused. You say Chevron's a dud in yesterday's high.
Exxon was the dud.
All right, right. I thought you were mixing it up. Yeah, I already got an alarm there. My alarm's 122.
Yeah,
Never
I
went off
guess so,
yesterday.
Alex. Yeah.
Never went off yesterday.
I mean, they had somewhat similar patterns. Chevron was better, but they both had these consolidations.
Well, yeah, I know.
Halliburton, keep an eye on that one. That usually, when oil stocks do good, it's consolidating at resistance right now.
Yeah, I'm just not sure the reward to risk is all weekly resistance too. That Chevron was my most favorite one. Um, but the stupid gap messed me up. All right, Alcoa here I'm watching on this bullish gap. This one I wouldn't mind a zero DTE and then rolling if needed. 0 by 60. Are the 43.5s. I'm gonna go low offer on the 43s. Try next week too. Wow, the spreads are ridiculous. The 43s are 0 by 80. The 43 and a halves are 42 by 130. I am just flabbergasted the SEC doesn't study this shit. I mean, didn't this used to be a Dow 30 stock or, it's at least a S&P 100. You can't have spreads like this. Ridiculous. I'll try to sell some of the next week 42.5s also. 50 cents. Those are at least tighter, 43 by 55. Did not get filled. And I'm going to try to sell some 42s also at 35 cents. No fill. So I got 3 orders out. I'll see which one I get filled first on. That's nice. All time frames, actually. Yeah, I like. All right, I got filled on the 35s. I'm gonna leave my 42.5s out there also. Yeah, let me check put spread for next week. What's his name? Roger Dodger brought this to my attention yesterday. 30s. Yeah, I like it. Spready again. This is not normal. Set an alarm at 133.60. Nice AMAT entry down there. Duncan keeps falling. Nice. Hey Lou, do me a favor and change your drop down to everyone. And I must have gotten filled more on those Alcoa. Let a bell go off. Is there? Tell me what time frame and what trade you're thinking, Sunil. I would definitely do a 180 put, but I'm not crazy about a directional here swing or 15-minute chart. I mean, you missed your entry was over yesterday's high, stop yesterday's low. And then what's your target? You got the 200 there. It's just not a good pattern or entry. But I like it for a put spread because it looks like a short-term bottom. Oh, this is already at 14 cents. Let's close it. It's midpoint. It's 14. Yeah, me too. Oh, somebody asked me about CCJ. We're in hope mode. Keep the original stop. Starbucks put spread triggered 97.94 for 50 cents. Right now, the midpoint is 31 and I wanted 50. So that obviously is not filled. But yeah, if it closes like this, that's a definite and. X-ray. It's junk, you know. Sure, it could bounce a little, but it's not bouncing. Consolidation is here. Look how wicked the 15 is. So I'm not crazy about it. There we go, 290. Marriott spreads got crazy.